saying? 10. I mean, even though we stand alone, we stand together.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for landing. Fasten your seatbelts. Thank you for flying Air Force Airlines. Oh, me. Call me the captain. Just blaze.
They say a family that prays together stays together, and one that walks apart just falls apart. So together we stand, divided we fall, united we form Voltron and take on all. Let's move, yes. The birds left the nest. I'm all grown up, I gotta fly with the rest. Best of the best is what we
There you go. What's up to all you angels and heathens out there? This is another episode of The Pastor and the Pagan.
Yes.
Of course, that's the pastor, and by process of elimination, that will make me the pagan.
He's the pagan.
So once again, I want to shout out all our listeners.
Yeah.
People that have been supporting us. And before we do anything else, I definitely want to throw out the number. It is 248-677-1803. Make sure to call us, leave us any comments, any questions, and we will address them on a future episode. We might just do like one whole episode, just like addressing comments and questions.
Yeah.
But today's topic.
Yeah. I guess we can call it what? Maybe, is it a blessing or is it hard work?
Okay.
Is it a blessing or is it hard work? Well, I guess the difference, or is it the same? Or I guess we can have that conversation, because me being a pastor, and of course a lot of times we sit back and in the arena that I'm in, we're quick to use that word blessing, but some things might just be hard work. And so we want to have a conversation concerning, is that a blessing or is that really the result of hard work? What do you think about that? What do you think about when you hear that?
I mean, it's funny that when you brought that up, when you first teased that topic, I was thinking about it because I'm like, they can't be one and the same. But then I think sometimes too, and like my mind went somewhere else where it kind of feeds into the topic we did on a previous show where, people look for blessings and don't want to put the work in.
Right.
And so I think sometimes people tend to, misconstrue hard work with the blessing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause sometimes people see the results, but they don't see the work that went into it.
Okay.
And so in their mind, it was just some miraculous thing that just kind of happened through osmosis. And it's like, oh, they just got blessed. And it's like, no, you ain't see, you know what I'm saying? Like what my man say, you wasn't in the gym shooting those jump shots with me. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, like people see the Michael Jordan and the Kobe's, they see their game, but they don't see the amount of work.
They don't see the practice. And
exactly.
The
dedication that goes into being able to do what they did. And so for me, at least my point of view is making that distinction. Like, yeah, they could be one and the same. Cause not
is it?
It can be. I think because I was giving somebody. Well, I mean, this is more your topic, so I'm gonna let you cook.
Okay.
But because I was making the distinction, I was talking to somebody today because I was supposed to go talk to a class this Friday, and I had to grow and learn that I would look at other people and I'd be like, well, why they ain't do it? I did it, But then I had to remember, or I had to think to myself, they worked just as hard as I did. The difference between me and them is I was fortunate enough to have opportunities come my way that they didn't have.
Okay.
So it wasn't a matter of hard work. It was a matter of opportunity. Sometimes luck or being blessed is a factor, right? And so, like, there's a phrase, it's better to be lucky than good.
Okay.
Sometimes, and like I look back at my life, and I am very fortunate with opportunities that came my way because a lot of it was based on my hard work, but then others was just happenstance. And it's like, I didn't do anything to deserve it. It just fell on my lap. And I was just fortunate enough to be aware enough to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So that's my initial hot take, but I guess I'm going to let you cook, and then I guess I'll elaborate a little bit later.
Okay. Well, I look at it almost a little bit different than what a lot of people would, I guess, view it.
Yeah.
Where people would say, like, say, for instance, you get a new car.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's such a blessing. And I would say, no, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
the blessing is the empowerment to get the new car.
Yes.
Okay, you see what I'm saying?
Okay, I get what you're saying.
So a lot of times we'll call things a blessing, and it's like, no, that's the result of being blessed.
Yes.
Okay, that's where you were in a position to buy the car.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
For example, let's throw some examples out there. You would say, "Ooh, look outside. It's the wind. Look at the wind." Well, you really don't see the wind.
Yeah.
What you see is the results of the wind. When you see the leaves moving,
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, look at the wind." No, you see the results of the wind.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying right now?
you.
And we quick to call that the blessing. And it's like, no, that's the result, because there are some things where it was just hard work. Like, okay, if you got an 800 credit score, you getting a new car, was that really a blessing? You see what I'm saying? The blessing was the empowerment for you to get an 800 credit score.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So there are some things where it was just hard work. And there's a phrase where they talk about hard work does pay off.
Yeah.
It is there that, you work hard is going to pay off. You mentioned like Michael Jordan, okay? He worked hard.
Yeah.
Okay? But at the end of the day, the organization, the teammates, the fans were blessed by his hard work.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Got you.
Okay. So I think where people get it mixed up at is actually what is a blessing. The blessing is a biblical word. And if you really look it up, it's really an empowerment, to prosper.
Yeah.
And I know we about to go down that road where you're like, oh, I hear that word prosper. And a lot of people get spooky and offended, like, oh, here they go. But it's an empowerment.
Yeah.
Okay? Me, I've always been who I am.
Yeah.
Okay? I was, quote unquote, if you want to say fortunate or blessed to go to the University of Michigan.
Right.
Okay? But I was always Terry Caldwell. I was Terry Caldwell before I went to U of M. I was Terry Caldwell when I left U of M.
Right.
But me going to U of M, there was an empowerment given to me that now I can do some things that I couldn't do before.
Right.
Once I got that degree, it put me in another category.
Yeah.
You see what I'm getting at? So I would say the blessing is the empowerment. Okay? You work for one of the big three.
Right.
Okay? You working for one of the big three is a blessing.
Right.
Because everybody can't do that.
Right.
Everybody can't do what you can do. Okay? Some people get electrocuted
Man.
trying to do that stuff,
I
okay?
had one guy yesterday. Almost.
But yet, when it's all said and done, you're empowered to go to work and do what you do.
Yeah.
And now, because you're blessed to do what you do, you should, watch this now, watch, I'm about to put this together, okay? Take advantage of that blessing.
Got you.
Okay,
I'm trying
put
to
the
agree
work
with you
in.
too much because
I know,
I
yeah. Put
Somebody said
the
we agree
work,
too much.
yeah. Put the work in, and now because you were blessed,
Yeah.
and you put the work in, watch this. You should be able to get you a new vehicle.
Yeah.
See, there are some people, okay, and I'm just gonna use the whole degree or diploma type of thing where they may have their diploma and they may have their degree, but they don't do nothing with it.
Yeah.
You're not putting the work in. And even the Bible says, a man don't work, he don't eat. So if you don't put the work in, you shouldn't get the results. And I think we talked about this before when Kobe Bryant was talking about his teammates' work ethic.
Yeah.
And like he said, why would I pass them the ball when I see how hard they really not working?
Yeah.
So why would I know I'm taking the last shot because I'm the first one in the gym. I'm the last one in the gym. I'm the one working hard. So why would I pass them the ball? I'm shooting it.
Fact.
So I don't know if that makes sense about the hard work and the blessing.
But I think,
You know?
so now, okay, just to offer some pushback, just because I
Yeah,
don't want to agree with
yeah.
you too much.
Yeah.
So, and I think I elaborated this on the previous episode where I think part of that though is I think church fosters an environment where people get complacent. They get used to just asking God for stuff.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Where they just, I want this car, so let me just pray for it. I want this house, so let me just pray for it. Instead, like you said, instead of praying for the ability
Yeah.
to get the house, instead
Yeah.
of praying for the wisdom or the financial wisdom or aptitude to do whatever it is that they want to do, they rather just pray for the result as opposed to the what leads up to that. And that's why
Yeah, go ahead.
And I was gonna say that's why and I keep bringing it up, but this is why the story of Solomon means so much to me, because it's like he asked for something that he could apply to get all those things without having to ask for he didn't have to ask for money, he didn't have to ask for power, he didn't have to ask for any of those things, because wisdom leads to all of that. If you use wisdom in all your decision making, then you're going to be financially set, you're going to have power, you're going to have all the things that you want in the end. It might take longer than just asking for it and having it appear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, and I think that's the problem too, not even just the church thing. I just think people want things now. And I don't know if it's social media. I don't know if it's just this generation that, you know, just used to not working for stuff. Because I know for me, and maybe you can relate to this as a parent, where, you know, you grow up struggling, doing certain things, eating mayonnaise sandwiches.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
I ain't the only one. I know somebody else had a mayonnaise sandwich out there. And so it's like, okay, I'm never going to let my kids go through this.
Right.
And I think sometimes we go overboard, because then I brought this up on the last show, is like, you know, climbing mountains. Sometimes there are lessons learned going through that struggle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you learn how to survive in certain elements. If you never go through it, like I come from a construction background. We worked out there in rain, hail, sleet, snow, right? Like you said, I work for the Big Three now. I'm indoors. If all things, let's just say the Big Three just cease to exist, I know I can go back out there because I've done it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It might take me a while to readjust, but I've done it.
Right.
If you ain't never did it, it's a struggle for you.
Right.
You like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Because it's new to you. It's foreign to you. So you don't know how to move.
Yeah.
And so, and it's just gonna all leads back to creating an environment where I think we focus more on how do we get there as opposed to just getting there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that's where, and I probably am getting some trouble for saying this, where
Go ahead.
a lot
Climb chimneys over here.
Yeah, a lot of churches have messed it up.
Yeah.
Where it's just that instant, quote unquote, blessing, gratification.
Yeah.
And it don't work like that. Okay? And that's why a lot of people have been messed up in their minds. That's why a lot of people, and I've seen this happen before, people will believe God for a house. Praise God. Shandai. Come and tie my bow tie. Should have bought a Hyundai. We done did all that. Okay? They done got the house. Watch this.
Yeah.
But then they lost it.
Because they know how to handle it.
Because they know how to handle it.
Yeah.
Okay? See, the thing is, the way God functions, the way he does things for his children is this. We can sit back and say, woo, I sure am thirsty. Woo, I'm thirsty. I want something to drink. Man, I wish I had some lemonade. Man, if I had some lemonade, I can quench my thirst. Yeah. I would be just so good with that lemonade. And then you pray, Lord, if you can find it in your will. Ayah, Shandai, give me some lemonade. Give me some lemonade. Well, what God will do, he will roll you a lemon.
Yep.
And what'll happen, we'll sit there and look at that lemon like, okay, this is not what I asked for. But see, God is thinking beyond that, where God is saying, don't you know, if you take that one lemon, see, you want something to quench your thirst right now, but if you have the wisdom, don't you know you can start a whole orchard, you can start a whole company, a whole business. You know how many seeds are in that one lemon? And you thinking about getting something to drink right now, but God is always thinking, I'm thinking bigger than that. That's why the Bible talks about your cup running over. The Bible talks about now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly. He's always thinking bigger than what you're thinking, and we'll get frustrated because we didn't get that one glass of lemonade, and God is saying, you missed it.
Yeah, it's what's that saying? It was like, you give a man a fish, he eats for a day.
Yes.
You teach him how to fish, he
Yes.
eats for a lifetime.
Yes.
It's one of those things where it's like, and once again, those lessons get lost because I don't want to have to climb that mountain, just move the mountain. And it's like,
well, I can't even say it got lost. I would say it wasn't even taught.
But
we've
that's
been
part of the problem.
entertained to believe that you're just going to get that glass of lemonade, and it's like, God wanted you to start your own business where you're not the only one that's thirsty. You were going to start a whole company. You know what I'm saying?
Quench everybody's thirst.
Quench
Right.
everybody's thirst.
Yeah.
Because whenever God does something for you, it's bigger than you. See, and when we get back to the hard work and the blessing, see, when you got an 800 credit score, that's hard work to have an 800 credit score.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can walk to a dealership and get a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Get a vehicle.
Yeah.
But when your credit score is a 5,
Yeah.
and you get a car, now that right there is a blessing. But now we need to find out how we're going to maintain it because you still ain't got no job. If your credit score is a 5, you've been doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Now, God may have showed up, but now what are you going to do to maintain it? And that's why God told the children of Israel, he said, go spy out the land that I've given you. He said, go do your research. The Bible says over in Timothy, it says, study to show thyself approved. Okay? And I'm preaching a little bit. Here we go. Here we go.
I mean, you a
preaching
pastor,
a little
I mean,
bit.
yeah.
Watch this. He says, study to show thyself approved.
Yeah.
A workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the truth, the word of truth. Now watch this. First thing he says is study. Do your research. Okay?
Yeah.
Study. Watch this. Study. Then he talks about being approved. A lot of times, here we go, a lot of folks have not been approved for stuff. Why? Here's the simple equation. You didn't do your research. You didn't study it out.
Yeah.
Okay? You believe in God for a Benz. Do you know how much it's going to cost for you to get an oil change on the Benz?
Man.
You see what I'm saying?
Bruh.
You believe in God for a Bentley. Can you get the tires rotated on the Bentley? Are
Listen.
you sure you want that? Have you done your research?
Hold on. You talking about a Bentley. I took my Ram to go get some fluids changed. $300 and something.
Oh,
just the
my
fluids.
goodness. Oh, my goodness.
That wasn't even all the fluids. That was just the differentials, the oil, and
Yeah.
maybe one other thing.
Yeah.
I still got to get the trans and
I didn't know until this was several years ago. You know, you always like one day, you know, as a kid, you want to have a Ferrari or a Lamborghini and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I did not know that there were certain Lamborghinis you have to have before you can buy a particular Lamborghini. What I'm saying is you can't just walk in the dealership and say, I want to get that one. No. They were, did you have this one first? Or did you ever have
they
this
want
one?
to see if you could.
There you go.
But here's
There you go.
And that's the thing. And I said this on the previous. So sometimes God might say no because once again you're doing all this praying, but I don't see no work.
There you
and
go.
we've had this conversation.
Yes.
You know, I was in DC.
Oh,
We
goodness.
had that conversation. Well, not because I was frustrated and but I'm glad it happened because it taught me. And I hate to say this, sometimes you can have examples of what to do and what not to do.
Yes.
Right.
And those examples are still good.
Exactly.
Of what not to do. Yeah,
Exactly.
not to do that. Yeah.
So growing up, I see all these people screaming, shouting, and still broke. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Obviously that don't work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to apply myself.
Right.
I'm going to do this and that, whatever. And, I had to learn some things on my own. And so, and that taught me, okay. And so now when people look at me, it's always
we got
funny.
a cat that has ran up on the show, y'all.
I know, man.
Go ahead.
This is going to be the last time y'all see this cat.
No.
I promise y'all.
Peter, don't worry about
Nah,
that.
Peter, look, I told y'all come get him or I'm letting him go. Listen, I'm going to have me a Davy Crockett hat next episode.
Davy Crockett hat.
Y'all don't know about the Davy. Do kids know about Davy Crockett hats?
No.
I
We
might
need to talk
put a-
about that one day. It's a lot of stuff this new generation don't know. They don't know nothing about this thing called a library.
No, dude.
But, okay, we'll talk about that another
Hold on. Hot take.
A library?
take.
What's that?
Hot take. Dude.
Walk
I'm
to
a-
school? What?
Right. Like,
Oh, okay.
how you got this much information at your disposal and know nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing. It's like, dude, listen, when we grew up, hip-hop was the thing, but I still knew about the Temptations. I still knew about George Clinton.
Right.
I still knew about the music. And matter of fact, those things was used a lot in rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like James Brown.
Yeah.
And like all these different musicians. So like we weren't ignorant.
Right.
We had our own music.
Right.
And from time to time we would enjoy the music that our parents and grandparents listened to.
Yeah.
This generation, if it happened before they was born, it didn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like if you was like Barack Obama's the first president
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? of the United
Yeah,
States.
he the first one.
Yeah, he the first.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the
first
country
president.
started right when I was born. It was
yeah.
like, and this generation is so ridiculous. But anyway,
Yeah, go ahead.
back to blessing versus hard work. Like I said, I just feel like church, and I don't know if it's because it's an easier sermon to preach to get more butts in the seats.
Okay.
Like I don't know, and I'm just spitballing, but that's what it seems to me. I feel like church has become this thing where it's like I want to tickle your ear. I want to tell you things that you like want to hear, just so I can keep you coming back and giving money to the church and whatever. And I'm not saying you do that because they don't do that at The Rock. We don't do that at Stone Cold Church of God in Christ either. But
Well,
other churches.
I think what happened with the church missed out on the details.
For sure.
Okay, the Sunday morning was a shouting good time.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm all for that. I'm all for it. Praise God.
Oh, yeah, Sundays for that.
Let's slide down the aisle, do our James Brown, whatever. Do you see the light? Let's do it.
I got a clip
I'm all
to show.
for that.
I got a clip to send you too. It's this lady breakdancing down the aisle, and it is the funniest.
Oh goodness, and I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But then when Monday comes, let's talk about the details. Okay, and the detail says, okay, that sounded good. Okay, but how do we give God something to work with? We talked about this before. Okay, you want him to turn your water into wine, are you going to bring him the water? Okay, give him something to work with. Give him something to watch this, to bless.
Yeah.
Okay, because the Bible talks about blessing the work of your hands. What are your hands doing? Give him something to work with. Like, okay, you may need to go get a job. You ever thought about that? That may start off right there.
I don't know, because I want to start a business from scratch. I don't ever have to work
and
for nobody.
that cracks me up right there when people like.
But see, here's the thing, though. There's something about working for somebody. There's something. What's the saying? A good follower makes a good leader, because they know what it takes. They follow.
But the mindset is off.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because watch this. The mindset is off. I can tell you that right now. That type of mindset, when you sit back and say this, I don't know whoever listening to this, you might get mad, but get ready for this. When you say you don't want to work for nobody, you're not ready. Because I don't care if you're a CEO, I don't care if you're a president of a company, you're still working for somebody.
Oh, for sure.
The president of the UAW is working for somebody. The CEO for Ford, GM, Chrysler, whoever, they're working for somebody.
LeBron James.
He's
cuts a
working
check
for somebody.
Yeah.
Yes.
His
He's
check
still-
says Genie Bus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He's working for somebody.
Exactly. But
watch this. Every time he does a commercial for Nike, he's working for Nike.
Exactly.
Guess what? Even though he plays basketball, he works for the Lakers. Watch this. Joe Biden works for the United States of America. You know,
exactly.
Everybody works for somebody. So that mindset has got to change. It's got to change. You're going to be working for somebody. So if you're starting a business so you don't have to work for nobody, you're going to soon be out of business.
Because I always find that interesting. Like, you don't work for nobody, but you want people to work for you.
Yep.
Like, that's always been an interesting mindset to me. Like, I get saying, okay, one day I don't want to work for somebody. But like I said, there's lessons to be learned being an employee. You can see, okay, what makes a good man. Like, just from a management standpoint.
I already know some people right now saying it, but Beyonce don't work for nobody. Yes, she do. It's a whole record label she work for.
Oh, yeah. They tell her.
Oh, yeah. This what you going to do, Beyonce. I don't care if you don't. Watch this. I don't care if you don't feel good. You gonna take this medication?
That's what people don't understand.
They don't. Yes, that's a whole. That's hard. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I was. It makes me think about. I don't know if it was Missy Elliott. I don't know what show it was, and she was talking about that. She was like, people don't understand. Like, you could be not feeling good, but you got to do this press tour.
Yes.
You got to do these interviews. You got to do 50 interviews in them.
If he was alive, Prince would tell you that.
Yeah.
That's why he tried to leave that label and went through that whole issue, because he was still. You talking about. What's his name? Prince Rogers or whatever his name was, something like that. Prince, he was still working. Michael Jackson you're going to work for somebody. And so even when you say, well, I don't feel like working today, you better understand, if they didn't flew you in somewhere, you're going to show
up. You owe them something.
You owe them something, or you going to mess around and get sued.
They do it to be benevolent.
Yeah,
listen.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so funny that you say that, because once again, that speaks to people seeing the results but not knowing what the work is.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even Michael Jackson. Oh, Michael Jackson, like as if he just woke up moonwalking. Like, bruh, like he had to put in work.
You had to work it.
I remember I was watching a documentary, and like the woman was speaking to that. She was like, yeah, of course they were giving God-given talent, but there was a lot of work that went into that. Like, you know what I'm saying? As if he wasn't practicing 20 hours a day or however many hours he was working. I think somebody did the math. It was like, in order to be great, you got to do 20,000 hours towards whatever it is that you're trying to do. Whether or not that's true, I don't know.
Yeah.
Point is, when you see somebody great, it ain't just because they woke up being great. There's a lot of work that goes into being a Michael Jordan, a Michael Jackson, a Kobe Bryant, a Muhammad Ali. Whoever it is that you look up as greatness, Beyonce. That's a lot of work.
Now, let me add something to this, because I'm going to say something very controversial, too. Matter of fact, let me say the controversial part first, and then we'll get off into that, okay? Is being blessed just for Christians?
You feels like it sometimes.
Is it?
Because, I mean, once again.
Is that a salvation issue?
Okay. So, I don't know if I'm just playing semantics, but like, I feel like outside of Christianity, we look at the same thing, call it luck.
I think that's two different things.
What's the difference?
Because luck is just what it
It's
is.
just happenstance.
It's just, like, for example, some people may have accidentally been in the right place at the right time.
Like winning a lottery.
Yeah.
But some people will call winning a lottery a blessing.
But that's the thing. That was luck. Because watch this. See, the blessing, watch this, is some work behind it.
I got to play tonight, by the way.
Oh, goodness. And when some people may say, well, playing my numbers is work. But at the end of the day, there's some work as far as research, some strategy, some effort.
Yeah.
You're believing with luck, okay, playing the lottery, you're believing that your numbers are just going to fall. See, it's not luck when you go to work.
Yeah.
That's automatic. You see what I'm saying? It's like, no, that's me working. I'm not hoping that, the numbers fall my way. Just like people talk about, man, I got my lucky rabbit's foot. Well, that foot wasn't too lucky for the rabbit.
Right.
Didn't work for him. Didn't work for him. You got a rabbit out here
Footless
limping.
rabbit, right? Like,
He
I wish I had my foot back. Right?
Wasn't too lucky for him. Didn't quite go according to plan.
I never thought about it like that. Man, that was deep.
But
I know what the meme going to be for this episode.
Oh, goodness. But the whole point of it is, the luck is fortunate. Like, for example, okay, I don't want to say that, but there's some people, well, let's say, for instance, some athletes,
Yeah.
okay, that they ended up going, just so happen, to the right team. Otherwise,
Oh, for sure.
you would not have been there. You understand what I'm saying?
Scottie Pippen is an example.
What?
Scottie Pippen, dog. Like, I'm so tired of Scottie.
Oh,
If he stayed with the Seattle Sonics, we would never have heard of Scottie Pippen ever in life.
you might be right on that. A lot of people don't know that he got actually drafted
Yeah.
by Seattle.
Exactly.
But my whole point is, when it's all said and done, okay, the luck is just you happen to be at the right place.
Right.
And it was nothing you did to the point where you can sit back. See, when it comes down to the blessing is more of a process.
Right.
To the point where I could do it again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know exactly what I did. And if you ask me to do it tomorrow, I can do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
The thing is, like with the lottery, and statistics have even shown this. They said the people that have hit the big time lottery, they've ended up in a worse situation than what they was in. Not all of them, of course, but the statistics.
Because they couldn't handle.
There you go. They couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, okay, they didn't know how to manage it.
Right.
The Bible talks about a fool and his money will soon depart, meaning it's a dangerous thing to give somebody, okay, that don't have wisdom a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
They're more dangerous to themselves and people around them, because they have that money. They don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
I used to throw this question out here. I say, okay, if you had millions of dollars, let's say, for instance, the lottery. I don't know, what's the big game right now?
I think it's like 1.5 billion.
1.5 billion?
Billion.
I can tell you right now, a lot of people wouldn't even know the first thing to do with that 1.5 billion. And I know some people probably saying, "Oh, I know what to do." No, you don't. The first thing, what you gonna do?
Well, first I'm going to the Nike community store. Then I'm
going
gonna
to the
find
Nike store.
I'm playing. I'm gonna find a financial advisor. Then go to the Nike community store. But no, like I would definitely get a financial advisor though, because
First thing I'm gonna do is not tell people I got 1.5 billion.
no, I'm gonna
That's
let
the
my
first
man,
thing.
my man shut up with the scream ass.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
not
telling
taking my
nobody.
picture. And guess what? The people that won't know, don't get mad at me. First people that won't know is my family.
Oh,
You'd be surprised how many family members all of a sudden got an emergency. You know what I'm saying?
no,
When you get
family
some
members all of
money.
a sudden love you. It's like, oh,
Hey,
come
I
over.
just called it a check in.
Hey,
You.
man.
Who are you? I ain't talked to you in
What you doing
12
for
years. Right.
Like, what? It's a first.
But the whole thing is that the blessing is an empowerment.
Yeah.
It's that process where, just like, for example, me starting the church. I didn't just become a pastor, but I was empowered to build a church,
Yeah.
To the point if I had to do it in another state or another city
Mhm.
or even here, I know how to do it.
Yeah.
I could do it again.
Yeah.
When you hit the lottery, it's like, okay, I'm gonna play them same numbers again. It may not fall like that.
But see-
Or if I do it again, you know what I'm saying? You can do all the research.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not guaranteed.
Oh yeah, it's not foolproof. Otherwise, people would just be winning left and right.
And stuff like that, we call that
Oh, that's by chance. But I think people
exactly.
But I think people still look at blessings the same way because it's just like
No.
they don't know.
Go ahead.
Because the blessing you're describing is I'm putting in the work.
That's what the
And-
blessing is.
Right. But I'm talking about normal, everyday people who just scream and shout for stuff.
That means they don't understand the blessing.
But
That's what
that
that
doesn't
means.
stop them from looking at it as a blessing, though.
But they don't understand it.
No, we agree on that part.
Yes.
I'm
yes.
just speaking to that contingent of people where it's like they look at blessings as hand me this.
Mm-hmm.
They can't tell you how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. They just want to be handed $1 million. They just want to be handed a car. They just want to be handed a house.
And it don't work like and that's the problem. That's why they so and a lot of those folks are the same ones that will lose it. I'm telling you right now. I know
we
of some
agree
people.
on that. But how many times
Yeah.
growing up,
Here we go.
how many times did I had to hear about, we had to hear about a paper bag and a dog coming up with a bag of money? It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying?
It can.
First off,
It can.
listen, if the dog is walking with a bag of money, somebody's looking for it, and it's probably a drug dealer, you probably don't want to touch that. I'm just saying.
Okay.
We- I'm just saying.
I might still touch it.
Listen,
I'm going to pray over that money. I'm going to declare no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Block every evildoer that's looking for me. I'm going to tithe off of that money. I'm going to pray over it.
if
I'm
you-
a sha-na-na all over that money.
if you man, okay. If you see No Country for Old Men and Cocaine Bear, you know
I saw
listen,
both of them. Yeah.
that drug
Yeah.
money gonna stay right where
Yeah.
it's at.
Yeah. And I'm going to say, Lord, protect me from every
Hey,
everybody looking for me.
listen, you're not gonna send a Colombian hit squad to my house. I'm a few
They
hundred
come.
short.
I'm like, no, that's Raymond. I'm you know who Terry is?
Right, you
My
know
name
who Terry called
My
with it.
name Raymond.
His church is called Rock Church,
No, I'm the pastor.
located
of
on
Stone
Whittier.
Cold. You got the wrong.
Hey, I'm gonna
I'm
start
like
talking.
Paul. My name to change.
Hey, I'm gonna start talking Mexican. I'm like, "Hey, come on, stars."
I'm gonna change my name.
Bro,
If Saul can become
switch up.
Paul,
listen.
like, ain't your name Terry? My name Larry.
All right, bro. I ain't got nothing to do with none of that. All I'm saying is that, but like for me though, like, and I agree with you. Like, it's a blessing is a byproduct of hard work. Once again, I just think
It's
people
an empowerment to even do it.
agreed.
It's an empowerment. You know what I'm saying?
It definitely
for you,
is.
like for example,
Yeah,
okay, the blessing on you, watch this, was the ability to even understand
Mhm.
electricity and stuff like that. Everybody, it won't click for everybody. You
doesn't.
see what I'm saying?
Right.
So now you have that empowerment because we never got back to it. I don't believe that the blessing is just for people that's saved.
I would agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Where people that's unsaved. Matter of fact, it's an empowerment to prosper. And we got a lot of wicked folks or a lot of heathens or whatever you want to call them, ain'ts, saints, you know what I'm saying? Stuff
Right.
like that, where it's facts that they're prospering.
But see,
So they're go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, because once again, I 100% agree with you. I just think that the difference is that there is a rational argument that you're making
Yes.
versus a religious argument that has been made.
Yes.
And that's, to me, is like the difference. Because it's like, once again, everything you're saying is 100% correct. Problem is, people have been operating under this way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay. And like you brought up blessing. To me, an example of blessing to me is when I got to do a show at the History Channel.
Okay.
That was a blessing because I felt like you could make the argument that I worked towards that I did things
Yes.
that people, and that's how it happened. Like, I had a LinkedIn, people saw what I was doing,
There it is.
but like I wasn't necessarily like shooting for that. It wasn't like I wrote down, okay, do a show at the History Channel. Right.
Right.
Like, it just came about because of the work I had did.
Exactly.
And so that was gonna be my point, where blessings can be a chance thing, where it's just like, you know what, like, even though I wasn't looking to do that,
Mhm.
it fell in my lap. It was happenstance, but it was based on the work I had put out there. It was based on my resume. It was based on something I had to do something first
Mhm.
for them to notice me.
But you did something.
Exactly.
And that's the key. That's because watch this. If you didn't put the work in,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be nothing for you to be recognized for.
And so that's
You see what I'm saying? If you
That's
just
true.
sitting at home watching Netflix, who gonna recognize you for that? But you put the work in, not knowing. And that's why God does more than what you're thinking of. You was just putting the work in for this, not knowing
Those
that
open
God
doors
was
to
gonna say,
something else.
I'm going to do more than just bless you with money. I'm gonna bless you with, watch this, exposure.
Yeah. Because now that,
Because of what you was doing.
and it's funny though, because like I could put that on my resume, and that like validates me instantly because it's like because not everybody can say they did that.
There you go.
And it's funny because I got a coworker named Mark. Shout him out. And first of all, he eats more than me. He can eat me under the table.
You
right?
say eat
Me under the table, dude. When I tell you, Paul,
talking about like food,
bruh. We ordered out one day.
Goodness, okay.
We ordered out one day, right?
All right.
And they gave us, so we both ordered a corned beef sandwich combo. I mean, these are big old steak fries and a big old corned beef sandwich, right? Coleslaw, Russian dressing, the works. They gave us an extra one by mistake.
Okay.
Dude, I was about ready to pass out after eating my meal. Dude ate his meal and the extra. I remember eating my meal, looking over like, you wouldn't put that extra one in the refrigerator? He was like, I just finished it. Like, he's literally eating the last few bites of the second plate. And I'm like, how? Like, I was amazed. Dude eat me under the table. Pause. Point is, he used to always say this thing. He used to always say, opportunity favors the prepared.
Okay.
And I always took that to mean, you know what, just stay ready.
Okay.
Right? Stay woke, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
So when I did do the History Channel thing, I got this thing wherever I come up with ideas, I just kind of develop them. I'm not sitting at work. I ain't doing nothing anyway. So So I try to create pitch decks. Mm-hmm. I created a pitch deck for a docuseries about sneaker culture. Okay. So when I go do this episode about Nike, hey, I got this pitch deck. You know, I got this idea. You know, because they think like, you know, we're trying to reach kids. You know, there's only so many Abraham Lincoln documentaries you can do before you just lose everybody's interest, let alone the kids. Right. And so I was like, well, I got this idea. And so now we've been in development with that, trying to figure out how to, you know, bring it to television. And so, but that's an example of opportunity favors to prepare. Where it's like, look, I'm working on this thing. I don't know who I'm gonna present this to. Right. I just know it's a good idea. Right. And I just want to be ready. So when I'm in that position, when that opportunity comes, I'm ready. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and so.
But what does that word "ready" mean? That means you prepared. You put some work in.
Exactly. But,
so it goes back to the same thing. It's all about doing the work. And a lot of times, I think where you're coming from is the fact of people not putting the work in and believing that I got this genie in this magic lamp and it's just going to.
That's what it is. The Bible is a magic lamp. God is a genie.
And that's and
if they rub it hard enough.
And it's like it don't work like
quote enough scriptures, scream at God enough.
And that's why a lot of false religions have been able to use our own Bible against us because we've been believing it the wrong way. It's almost like using a manual wrong. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Where it's like when I grew up as a kid, I used to look at the Bible as a book of rules. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. It was like, man, it just tell me everything I can't do. Yeah. But once I got mature, I realized, this is not a book of rules. It's a book of opportunities. And the things it's saying for me not to do is not to hurt me, but it's to protect me. Just like when you buy a radio and it says do not put in water. It's saying that to protect you. It's trying to protect you so you won't get hurt. Right. You know, so people have used the Bible and they've kind of used it incorrectly like a genie in the magic lamp. When it's like, no, this right here, is your manual. For you to do some stuff, for you to do some things, not just sit back and chill. Right. I mean, even before Jesus, really hit the scene preaching, he didn't really start preaching until he was like 30. So what was he doing, from 30 on back? Well, Bible talks about he was a carpenter and he was also preparing for his ministry. Right. And then it was a matter of time where it was like, boom, now it's time. And that's why some of us also are facing closed doors because there are some doors where God won't open because God knows you're not ready for it. You haven't prepared yourself for it.
But I also think, too, because you brought up Jesus and how he would do the miracles, right? Yep. He ain't charged nobody for those. Those are things those are things, he took situations. And so I equate Jesus doing miracles to samples at the grocery store. Okay. Right, so like when you go to the grocery store, I'm gonna connect these dots. Just watch.
I'm trying to catch that.
Just watch me.
What, cheese on the stick?
Yeah,
try
cheese
this
on a cracker. Okay. I'm telling you, man.
All right,
try this quiche.
Let me see this. This ought to be good. This ought to be good. The sample. Okay, all right.
So I feel like when Jesus did miracles, it was to show you what he could do. Right. This is what I can do. This is my power. Right. So I'm not just telling you. I'm not just coming down here telling you what to do. This is what this is the type of covering you could have if you follow me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This is how I can work in your life if you follow me, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with a sample. The sample is meant to entice you, is to get your attention, to
Okay.
bring you to their product, to
Okay.
that brand. So
Okay.
when you go there, okay, I'm going to try this quiche. Man, this is delicious. Because guess what I'm going to do now? I'm going to start buying this quiche. I had no intention
Okay.
on buying quiche at all. But now because it's so delicious, now I'm going to try it out. Now I'm a fan. Now I'm a regular.
Okay.
I'm regularly buying this thing. Same thing with him with the miracles. Man, I saw what he did in his life. Maybe he could do that in my life.
Okay.
I'm not blind, but I got some ailments that I need healed. I got some issues. So I saw that sample that he got. And even though I didn't get that sample, I saw how that sample worked for him.
Okay.
So now, because I see how it worked for him, I'm going to try it for myself. And now that I see it work for myself, now I'm a regular. Now I'm going to church every Sunday. Now I'm reading my Bible every day. Now I'm praying like I'm supposed to. So it works in the same way. It's meant to
Okay.
I feel like it was
I
done.
see how you put that together.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Rev.
He came down here
Rev.
because I'm like, yo, like he did all these, because I think people look at the miracles like, well, why can't he just show up in my life like that? It wasn't about him just snapping his finger and just changing things for you. He did those things to get people's attention. He did those things just to show you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like a sham wow, right? Like, I can show you how this works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you still got to put in the effort of purchasing it, buying it. You still got to put in the effort of showing up every Sunday and doing what I told you to do and following my word and all this other stuff. And that's if.
Well, and you said something right there, and I'm trying not to take this conversation left field.
Take it.
Where you said people may be saying, why he can't do a miracle like that in my life? You sure you want that? Think about the folks, what their life was like before the actual miracle. One woman had an issue of blood for 12 years. You see what I'm saying? Where people don't even recognize. How about you just be thankful you've been kept? Thankful you ain't got to be believing for him to open up blinded eyes, that your eyes are working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You know, well, the lame had to walk.
Oh, that's
Thank God.
another episode right there. Be grateful.
you
A
know.
lot of y'all, listen, can I
Yeah.
I'm trying not to cuss.
Oh, goodness. Here we go.
I really try, but some of y'all be pissing me off.
Stone cold.
Some of y'all are some ungrateful assholes. Like, really.
Oh, good.
Really. Like, cause they'll sit there and complain all day about what somebody ain't doing for them. And I don't even go to church like this. So for me to even like be
But you just preach in your own way. I'm looking for you to wear the leather vest with the blue jeans, the Stone Cold
glass breaking.
Church of God in Christ, or whatever.
Some
you
of
pastor.
y'all
Yeah.
are a-holes. Cause it's like, yo, y'all got, it's so many, like I look at, growing up, I didn't have a father.
Okay.
Just having a father in your life, having a man in your life. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that man may not be doing everything you want them to do. Your mother, your father may not be. Dude, you have parents. Some of us didn't have that. You got food every day. It might not be 5-star. It might not be Michelin. It might not be, steak.
What's Michelin?
Like a Michelin 5-star. Like a Michelin is like upper echelon food. Like you paying $500 a plate.
Oh, when you said Michelin, I was thinking tires.
Oh, no.
Like, I'm like,
like
what?
Gordon Ramsay. Like he's a Michelin star.
Oh, okay.
Chef.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it
Yeah,
might
put me
not
up
be
on game.
It
All
might not
right,
be
all right.
5-star cuisine, but
Gotcha.
you know what? You got food every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to be just grateful for the things we have instead of focusing on things we don't have.
Well, see, the thing is, too, when you talk about the miracles, you got to realize these folks were in situations. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, the miracle of causing the deaf to hear. Okay, praise God, he got his hearing, but y'all got to realize, how long did this man go around being deaf? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
people may say, I want God to work a miracle. And majority of miracles that you want is maybe getting a bill paid off.
Yeah.
And this is why it's like God is saying, I'm giving you the ability to pay the bill off. And when you come from a situation like, for example, you,
Yeah.
in my opinion, you're a walking miracle. If people really knew your story,
Yeah.
the odds in the natural
Yeah.
is you are not supposed to be where you are today based off of
Agreed.
where you come from, your whole
Right.
situation. People really knew. People would sit back and say, that's a walking miracle.
Right.
So then you have to sit back and say, okay, do I really want to be, when you say I want to see a miracle, okay, we got you, Cletus. How about God let you die for 3 minutes? Let you have a heart attack. Come on now, if you want to see a miracle and you die for 3 minutes, you're gonna go to Providence. You're gonna lay on the table for a while.
Yeah.
Don't nobody sign up for that.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So when you got to be careful saying, I
'Cause
want to
that's
see
not the
a
miracle
miracle.
people think about.
Yeah, because it's like, hold on, that's not what I was
Like,
signing up
winning
for.
that Powerball tonight would be a
You know?
miracle. I was,
See, that's the miracle folks want to see.
but no, you know what's and I think
Go ahead.
about, like, we talked about the Bentley earlier in the episode, right? Like, I always want, like, at some point I wanted a pickup truck. I wanted my Hemi back after getting rid of my Durango, whatever. And so, like you said, like, it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? This is something I wanted. I worked for it.
Right.
I was blessed with it. And so, yeah, you know what? When I took it to the shop, it's like, I don't want to pay that.
Right.
I don't want to pay for this tune-up.
Right.
But you know what? This is the thing I asked for.
Yep.
And you know what?
Yep.
I'm fortunate enough to have a car.
Yep.
There's people out there that wish they could have a car to take to the shop.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So a lot of times, your attitudes adjust when your perception does.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, some people look at things like glass half full, glass half empty, right? As the older I get, I'm more glass half full.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I'm looking at things like, you know, it could be worse, but you know what? I mean, it could be better, but it could be worse.
Now, see, I'm a little bit older than you. Now, for me, I'm at the point now, I sit back and say, praise God, I got a glass.
Bruh.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's
Hey.
half full, half empty, I got a glass that I can put something in it. Because I remember there were times I had a glass and couldn't put nothing in it.
You know what? Honestly, I'm gonna hit at y'all some more. Some of y'all some spiritual brats.
Oh, good.
No, like real talk. Like, cause what is a brat, right?
Yep.
A brat is never happy. They're petulant. They're always gimme. And as soon as the one time you don't give them what they want, they ready to just stomp and scream and throw a tantrum.
Well, that's what it is right now. You know what I noticed about life? You're only as good as your last shot when it come down to people.
Yeah.
It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? And you've seen
Oh,
it in
yeah.
sports. You could have scored 40 points,
Yeah.
but you missed the last shot.
Yep.
Oh, he missed it. That was a bad shot. He should have did this. But wait a minute. If I didn't score the 40,
Yeah.
we wouldn't even been in the game. And you gonna hold me accountable to the one that I missed? You don't want to. Okay, hey, let's be grateful that we was even in the game because you ain't scored a 40. This would have been a blowout.
Somewhere Chris Webber's listening to the show with
You
a
know
single
what?
tear coming down the
You
sheet.
know, which is a good example though.
Yeah, it's like,
Nobody
yo,
talks about the
I put
2
us in a
years.
position to even be this close.
Exactly.
And I make one mistake with a
And I'm
timeout.
known.
That's
for
all
this is what I'm known for is the timeout. Nobody talks about.
Yeah.
You know, how we went toe-to-toe as freshmen against the Duke Blue Devils, let alone came back and got to the national championship the following year,
Mhm.
you know, and at the end of the day, yeah, I messed up.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for whatever the 20 points he scored in the championship game, he wouldn't even been.
Well, first of all, his mistake was televised. A lot of our mistakes was
Oh,
televised.
don't go there. Ooh, that's a whole nother subject.
No, I'm just saying.
And that's
like,
a miracle in itself. Praise God that he not exposing some of the stuff that you don't want to talk about.
thank God for anonymity.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying?
There it is.
Like that. I mean, real talk. Because a lot of y'all, I mean, like, and it's, man, knowing what I know, growing up in the church, some of y'all folks
Here we go.
that be smiling in my face, smiling in Terry's. Look, I know,
Smile in your face. And
man.
talk behind your back.
Backstabbers.
You know what?
Listen, because look, I was at church 24/7
Yeah,
every day.
yeah.
So I saw some of y'all outside of Wednesday and Sunday. I heard some of those
Wow.
conversations. Those walls were not soundproof.
Wow.
Those walls are paper thin. I heard everything.
Can I say something?
What's that?
It's amazing how, and I'm just gonna leave it at that before we end out this topic. It's amazing in my heathen days. You know, it's amazing how I had went to a party.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how word got back about me. Of course, I wasn't a pastor or a preacher, you know, at the time I was in a backslidden state. But it was amazing how the word got back all the way back here. I was up in Ann Arbor and I went to a party, right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing how the word got back that I was at a party. My question was, who saw me? Who was there that actually saw me but didn't want to say nothing about them being there? Because somebody had to
Yeah, I was gonna
see me.
say, like,
You know, how would you know unless somebody was there? How about you ask that person, how you know he was there? Why you worried about
That'd have been
him
my
being
first question.
You know what I'm
Terry
saying?
was at so-and-so. How you know?
there? How you know?
That'd
Oh,
be
you
my
was
first
there?
question.
Let's talk about you being there.
Right.
You
Before I
talk
get to
about him
Terry,
being there.
since you here,
All right.
Like,
Since
let's-
you was there.
man. But no, that's
News at 11. You
Right,
know?
man.
I want to tell my story.
But no, I mean, but that's, I just think overall, I just think people, and I'm talking specifically, I mean, you could talk about anybody really, because I think most people want things handed to them. Most people want it quick and easy and be done with it, and they don't want to put in the work. Like you said, we see the Beyoncés and the Jay-Z's and the Kobe's and the Michael Jordans and whoever you look up to. we see them. We see the wealth. We see the fame, but we don't see the work that goes into doing that stuff. And we look at that as something as being a blessing, but it's like it's a blessing and a curse because, right, you see the blessing. The curse ain't televised.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's no camera in there when they're working out.
Sure.
They got to look a certain way. There's no camera in there when they got to practice their performances. There's no camera in there. Well, there's a camera when they got to interview, but it doesn't show that they got to do the same interview back to back to back to back, answering the same questions. Do you know how hard it is to answer the same questions all day, every day?
Right. And then, you know, I was just thinking, too, that a lot of times, you know, when you're looking at people and say their lives might even be, quote, unquote, blessed, you don't know the life they really have to live.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go and I can go anywhere we want and be us, but people like them, at the end of the day, you got paparazzi. Quick to try to take a picture of them slipping, like, okay, ooh, they had their shirt off and they out of shape and all this stuff. And it's like, for us, I'm out of shape. It is what it is. And you know what I'm saying? But for them, it's like they got to always be on. But the whole point of this about the blessing and hard work, the blessing is the empowerment.
Yeah.
Do things. Okay? But the key is you need to be doing something. Like we use the example about God will give you a whole lemon. He will roll you a lemon. Okay? He's blessed you with a lemon. Now it's time to put the work in. What's the work? Let me turn this into a lemonade company.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Instead of just sitting back being a spoiled brat, I didn't get my answer to my prayer. I prayed for some lemonade because I was thirsty, and God gave me a lemon.
What's that story about the man in the boat? Like he's praying for God to save him, and
to save him,
God came in the boat.
Yeah. The story was the man was in the water and he was drowning.
Yeah.
And he said, "Lord, save me." And God sent him a boat, and he said, "No, I'm waiting on God to save me." And then he sent the helicopter, and they lowered the ladder. And he was like, "No, I'm good. I'm waiting on God to save me." Then he eventually drowned and died.
Yeah.
And then he stood before God and said, "God, how come you didn't save me?" He said, "Well, I sent you a boat. I sent you a helicopter, and you didn't take advantage of the things that I sent you to help you."
I'm gonna offer one little nugget too, by the way.
Yep.
Because we talk about blessing stuff. Like sometimes the stuff y'all be asking for, like, is that really a blessing? Like some people want to be famous. Do you really want to? Like you just brought up paparazzi, and you brought up all those. Like once again, there's a pros and cons to everything.
You know what? Real quick, that's funny that you said that on that because they did a conversation about two Michigan quarterbacks. They said right now in life, because they both were retiring around the same time.
Yeah.
They were talking about Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And Chad Henne.
Yeah.
They said now at retirement, who would you really rather be? Would you rather be Tom Brady or Chad Henne? And the folks were saying, I probably would rather be Chad Henne at this point. They said, I would want the career of Tom Brady when he played.
Yeah.
They said, but right now, Chad Henne can go to the local grocery store and people may not recognize him.
Yep.
Tom Brady can't do that. Still, he can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like certain things, even now you're retired, you can't do that stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know one of the saddest stories I ever heard?
Yeah.
I was reading a book written by, I think like they were bodyguards near Michael Jackson's, near the end of his life.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most famous people in the world. Like couldn't go
lonely.
The loneliest person couldn't go to the store.
Yeah.
And they told a story about they were living in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And just so he could walk out and just be normal for like a couple hours, they had to dress him up full leather motorcycle outfit with a helmet on.
Wow.
He's sweating. It's Las Vegas.
Wow. You
wearing a whole leather outfit with the helmet on, walking around.
Wow.
And they would come, like every half hour or so, they come up to him, give him some water, and it was like, they say he was just sweating, makeup just smeared, like hair just on his face, and he was having the best time.
Yeah.
Because he got to be normal.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like Eminem had a song where he was talking about he just wants to browse in the Target.
Yeah. I believe that.
Just want to walk in the Target and browse. They didn't want to buy nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like it is, like y'all be asking for stuff, and it's like, I don't think I really understand. Like you want to be a CEO. Do you really know what comes with it?
Right. You sure? You know the pressure?
Because in your mind, it's just, I get to go on vacation when I want to, and I make my own schedule. Listen, as an employee, I can clock in and clock out and not think twice about the company.
Yep.
Because that's not my job. My job is to come in and perform while I'm there.
Right.
CEO, I got to take that home with me.
You got to take it home with you. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to make business decisions outside of the office.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never off the clock.
Last thing I want to say about that, on that part too, is how years ago, I remember a good friend of mine, shout out to Tyrone Wheatley, football coach at Wayne State, but we was at University of Michigan together.
Yeah.
And we happened to be going to a game. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
we were out of school, and we were walking over to the stadium.
Mm.
And the look on his face, he was blown away by the excitement and the students and the fans walking over to the stadium and stuff. And I'm looking at him like, what in the world? He was like, man, this is awesome. This is incredible. And I'm like, what in the world? What are you talking about? And I said, oh, I had forgot while he was in school, he never experienced it because he was always playing.
Yeah.
So he didn't know what it felt like to walk to the stadium. He didn't know what it felt like to be amongst the fans outside the stadium cheering and all of that stuff and heading back and how everybody was all pumped up and seeing all the tailgating. He was sitting back like, man, this is awesome. And I was like, wow, I forgot. You never had a chance to experience this.
Yeah. I think even I was reading a story too. This is after his father died. But Michael Jordan was talking about he be signing an autograph and he'll see a father and son.
Yeah.
And they be looking at him and he was like, I wonder if they know how jealous I am of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's just like, so it's like, yo, like, look, you know, like, I mean, think about even Michael Jordan, that situation.
Yep.
He's being blamed for his father's death.
And that's bad.
Bruh.
That's
like,
bad. That's bad enough that you lost your father, but then people blaming you.
It's your fault. Like,
And
they
then try
tying
to-
in
yeah.
stuff that ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Hey.
Like, once again, I don't think y'all be really computing what y'all be asking for sometimes. Y'all see the benefits. Y'all see the pros.
Sure.
But y'all ain't listing those cons. And so, for me, distinguish what is a blessing and what ain't. And then, instead of just focusing on getting the results, like Terry said, focus on putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
then preparing yourself for that opportunity if and when it comes.
That's right.
And here's the thing. It might not come. Like I said before, God might just say no.
Yeah.
Either because you don't deserve it or it might not be in his plan for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always tell people, like, if it was in his plan for his son to die, why you think you deserve better?
That's like me. I know. I'm telling you right now. This is me. I was supposed to be in the NBA. I was supposed to be in the NBA playing point guard. But God said no. Because I got this running joke. I tell people all the time. I be like, no, you would not know me. You would know of me, but you
Yeah.
wouldn't know me.
Mm.
And the thing is, if I done went to the NBA, you think I'd have been preaching at a young age? I've been playing basketball.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And sometimes God's will. Matter of fact, the Bible talks about how when a man is sleeping, when they dreaming, God is seal His will, His instructions in them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, we got different plans.
Right.
You know, I had different plans.
Yeah.
I was gonna go pro. I had it mapped out. When I say I had it mapped out, I had it mapped out. I was gonna go pro.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna play point guard for the Miami Heat. I was gonna go
Back then?
Yeah, I was gonna go on the
Wow.
Arsenio Hall show.
You and Seekley?
Yeah, I had it.
You and Ronnie Seekley?
Cycly, Rodney Cycly.
Oh, my bad. Let me get it right.
I was gonna go on the Arsenio Hall show.
Yeah.
And I was gonna meet Janet Jackson, right? And we was gonna be a power couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna be. You know what I'm
Bruh.
saying? I had it mapped out.
Hold on.
I had it mapped out. That's what it was gonna be.
You know the first time I saw Janet Jackson? You remember this trip?
The trip.
We went to Atlanta to Creflo Dollar's church. I think it was like 98.
Okay.
She was down there.
She wasn't down.
She
Where you
was-
see her at?
No. She was shopping. I don't know what she was doing. I don't know if it was like the Velvet Rope Tour or whatever. We were, I don't know who. It was like a group. It was me and some of the kids and some adults. She was shopping, and they had to like block off everybody.
Where was
Yeah.
I at?
Y'all was at church because y'all was at, there was conference like all day.
So wait a minute. While I was at church, you
We
was
was doing our best. Like, we went to the Coca-Cola factory and everything.
Yeah.
And they had to like they blocked up everybody so her and her security like could do whatever they was doing.
Right.
She had on this all black outfit. That was the first time I seen a woman's body shaped that way. I
Oh
was
goodness.
14.
Okay. All right.
That changed my life. Janet Jackson, you changed my life. And if you're single, if you're watching this,
Oh goodness.
hit me up.
We used to go together.
Me and her did too.
No,
my
no,
dreams.
no. Me and Janet used to go together. She just didn't know it. Okay, she just didn't know about our.
That's what we call a stalker.
She
Like,
just didn't know. So y'all ever see her? Let her know. Y'all know her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend.
oh, man, listen. All I know is if I ever get a chance,
Oh goodness.
I don't care how old she is, it's still Janet Jackson. Call her what you want to.
But I had it mapped out. But when you say prime example of God saying no,
Yeah.
God like, no, you're not doing none of that. You're not going to the NBA.
Uh-huh.
You're not going on the Arsenio Hall show. I knew I was in trouble when Arsenio Hall went off the air. I said, okay, that ain't going to work because it's off the air.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole Janet thing is, okay, Janet, I'm married now, so
She is so thick, bro.
Let it go. Janet, I'm married. I moved on.
Whew,
You're going to
boy.
have to find somebody else. I moved on. Praise God.
I ain't never seen a woman built like that.
In,
That was my
in the
first
show.
woman.
In the show.
We ain't had women like that at First Baptist.
You know what? In the show.
I'm just saying.
In the show.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, on this episode, I guess we about to
We
get
had a lot of-
canceled.
we had a lot of-
Because he talking.
The Avenue shoppers at our church.
Who shoppers?
The Avenue.
You know what?
I used to work there too, by the way.
All right.
And it wasn't Victoria's Secret.
Okay.
It was the complete opposite. There's Victoria's Secret on this end of the spectrum, and there's the Avenue way on this end of the spectrum,
Yeah.
tilting it down.
Hopefully y'all enjoyed this show.
Hey, man, be blessed and good luck. We out.